There's 5 reasons that right now is the perfect time to start selling on Amazon. And I've been doing e-commerce for over 7 years. Between all my different companies, I've done millions of dollars in e-commerce and online sales. But I have one company I launched on Amazon about 2 years ago, and around the same time I launched it on Shopify as well. And on Amazon, I've done over $800,000 in sales, and on Shopify, I've done about $100,000 in sales. And I've put in roughly the same amount of work for my Amazon part of my business and my Shopify part of my business, and I do way more in sales off of Amazon. It's because Amazon is easier. Now I will say, after you calculate all the fees for Amazon FBA, which is the cost of the product obviously, but also the Amazon 15% fee, the Amazon pick and pack fee, and all the other different Amazon FBA fees, that Shopify does have a slightly better margin. But remember, there are still fees associated with selling on Shopify and just fees in general with running a business. So Shopify has a slightly better profit margin, but Amazon is so much easier that it makes it a no-brainer. But why is right now the perfect time to sell on Shopify? Well, I could throw a bunch of stats at you, like the fact that Amazon has 33 million customers on their platform. That means 33 million people that are already buying things from Amazon. Or I could talk about how Amazon is a $1 trillion company. But here's what really impresses me. Of all online sales, all sales that happen online, Amazon makes up about 50% of all sales. So 50% of all people that buy something on the internet are buying, at least in the United States, are buying it from Amazon, which is freaking crazy. And what's even crazier than that is over 50% of the sales that happen on Amazon are from third-party sellers. Now, a lot of people think that Amazon sells everything that is sold on Amazon is sold by Amazon, and it used to be like that. In like the 90s, Amazon would sell books and it was all sold by Amazon. But Amazon started letting random people like you, people like me, sell on the Amazon platform. And Jeff Bezos, in a recent speech, said that third-party sellers are kicking Amazon's butt. That's a legitimate direct quote from Jeff Bezos. It's over 50% of all sales that happen on Amazon are from third-party sellers. And something really crazy I looked up a few years ago, I think it was about 2 years ago, how many sellers are doing over 6 figures in sales? And this was, I think, 2017 actually. It was 200,000 people that are doing over 6 figures in sales on Amazon. Now, all that being said, the real reason I think right now is the perfect time to sell on Amazon is this one graph. And I'll explain this graph in a second, but this is freaking crazy. And it explains exactly why right now is the perfect time to start selling on Amazon. Now, I do want to be very clear. It's not all like, there's a lot of stats that make it sound like it's really amazing selling on Amazon, but keep in mind, there are some downsides with selling on Amazon. I'll just rattle off some quick things. First off, there are 5 million sellers on the Amazon platform, and there's 4,000 new sellers that join every day. So there is a lot of competition, but I will say most of the sellers are selling on for other countries. There's not as many sellers in the US market. And on top of that, most of the sellers in the US market, I think only like 1 out of 3 people ever even add a product. And of that 1 out of 3, most of those people are either using outdated methods like old school retail arbitrage, private label, or old school like wholesale methods, which I do not recommend. And I'll link a video where I talk about why you shouldn't do private label or wholesale. But not only are a lot of them using outdated methods, it's like anything in life. You know, they talk about 4 out of 5 businesses fail, and it's not because it's hard to start a business, it's because most people aren't out there watching YouTube videos. And here's a crazy thing, of people that watch my YouTube videos, I put out full-length Amazon FBA tutorials. Only about 1 in 5 of those people actually finish the video all the way till the end. So if you want to be one of the people that succeed with anything in life, but specifically Amazon FBA or specifically business, what I want you to do is treat this video, treat any video that you see someone making that you actually trust them. Treat it as if you paid $100 for this video. I recently sat down with a student of mine and he spent basically $1,000 to sit down with me and have lunch, which is it's an absolutely crazy amount of money. Technically, it's a deposit that it'll get refunded to him as soon as he completes my course. But my point being is treat this video right now, treat this opportunity as if you just spent $100 to sit down with me and watch this video till the end, and I guarantee you're gonna be more likely than most people to have success with Amazon. But let's talk about this one graph and why this graph means it's the perfect time to sell on Amazon. Let me ask you, what percentage of all retail sales, all sales that are made for retail items, what percentage are made online? Now, most people that I ask this to say, I don't know, maybe 50% of all sales are made through Amazon or online stores, or maybe 70%. Wrong. I think last year it was around 10 to 12%. And next year, it's planning to grow by around 20% to be about 14%. And if you look at this graph right here, you can see there's going to be an exponential, it looks at least like an exponential graph. It looks like there's gonna be a huge spike in it, and there's a lot of room for e-commerce to grow. Literally, it could easily grow 10 times in the next few years. I honestly believe in the future, you're almost never gonna go buy things in a store. That seems like a very old school way. It's so much easier to buy things online. And this is one of the biggest reasons why right now is the perfect time to join. If I believe you wait and you don't jump on this opportunity, it will get too saturated. It's not too saturated right now as long as you're selling something unique, selling something different, selling a passion product. Obviously, it's a little bit saturated. It's a little bit too late to do private label or old school wholesale methods, but there's so much freaking opportunity. As I mentioned, 33 million customers on the Amazon platform. As long as Amazon has people on the platform buying stuff, there will be new opportunity as long as you're doing something different. Now, here's another big reason why right now is the perfect time to start selling on Amazon. I've done this, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, for a long time. I've been doing e-commerce for over 7 years. And when I first started out, I had my own website. It was a dance clothing website that I started with my mom, and it was so hard to get people to come to our website and to get people to buy things. So first off, just to get the traffic to the website was difficult. But then once they were there, nobody trusted the website. Nobody wanted to put in their credit card information. Amazon has destroyed both of these roadblocks. First off, Amazon already has the customers, so you don't have to try to convince people. You don't have to spend money on ads. You don't have to tell your friends or put posters up trying to get everybody to come to your website. Amazon already has the customers there. Amazon already has people searching. And on top of that, people already trust Amazon. The conversion rates for my product on Amazon are somewhere between 20 to 30%. Meaning of one out of every 5 or 1 out of every 3 people that look at my page, my product page on Amazon, hits the buy button. Why is that? Because people trust Amazon. People know that if there's an issue, they can return the item, they can get their money back. They know that Amazon's not gonna steal their credit card information. Now, compare that to my dance clothing website, which had a really good conversion rate of 3%. Meaning 3 out of every 100 people actually purchase something. This opportunity is insane, and it's the easiest way. I've tried a lot of different ways to make money online, and it's the easiest way I've found personally to make money online. Now, I'm not saying it's gonna be easy every single step of the way. I'm not saying that this is some kind of get-rich-quick scheme, like you're gonna start getting checks in the mail from FedEx. But what I am saying is, compared to all the other different ways of trying to make money online, all the other legitimate ways of starting a business, it's 10 times easier. Amazon makes it, they store all your inventory in their warehouse. They do all the shipping. They basically, in my opinion, do all the hard parts of running a business. In the past, you had to get a brick and mortar store. You had to be there from morning until close. You had to hire employees. You don't have to deal with any of that with Amazon. And that's not even the real reason why I think right now is the perfect time to sell on Amazon. That's not even the real reason why you should start an Amazon business. The real reason you should start an Amazon business is because starting a business, honestly, any type of business, is absolutely life-changing. And let me tell you why I think that. I was stuck in the corporate world. After college, I graduated. I got a corporate job. It was a really good paying corporate job. And to be honest with you, I was bored out of my mind. I ended up having like the worst depression. I'm not someone that's ever been depressed in my life, but because there was no reason for me to work hard. I mean, if I worked my butt off, I might get like a 3, 4, 5% raise at the end of the year. I ended up hating my life. I hated my job. And I ended up reading this book called The 4-Hour Workweek, which talked about passive income. And in it, it made me realize if I can make $300 a day passive income, if I could set up a business so I could make passive income like Amazon allows you to do, I could live the life of my dreams. But obviously, I didn't do that. I didn't quit my job when I found out about that opportunity. I stayed in my job and I just kept like declining. My depression got worse and worse and worse. It was the worst period of my life. I felt terrible. I felt like I had a 1,000-pound suit of armor that I was wearing, and every single thing I did was like just draining. It felt like my soul was being sucked out of my body. And then finally, one day, I got the courage basically to quit my job. And the reason I got the courage was because I was so depressed. I was like basically my version of rock bottom. And when I quit my job, I'm gonna be honest with you here, that was the hardest thing that was like the hardest time of my life. Because once I quit my job, I had a complete breakdown, a complete panic attack, because I had no idea what I was doing. I started the dance clothing company with my mom, and it was so hard. As I mentioned, trying to get people to your website, so hard. Trying to design, that's another thing I forgot to mention. With Amazon, you don't have to actually design an entire website. If you're selling on Shopify, and I'm not against Shopify, but if you're selling on Shopify, you have to design an entire e-commerce website. Amazon's already got the website. All you have to do is basically put in your title, some images, and a few other things. That's how easy it is to set up with Amazon. But of course, I wasn't doing that. So for the first 5 years, I tried affiliate marketing. I was trying YouTube. I'm finally getting YouTube to be successful, but the first while it wasn't successful. I tried all these different things for the first 5 years of my journey or so. Now, we did end up at one point selling the dance clothing on Amazon. And I think the first month or maybe the second month we were selling the dance clothing, we got like $15,000 in sales. Now compare that when we had our own website, it probably took me 3 or 4 years of hard work to get up to that $15,000 a month sale. But all I did was list our products on Amazon, and it was like overnight we were getting sales. And that's when I had like this aha moment. And truth is, I wasn't passionate at all about the dance clothing thing. I didn't care about it. And we also had a lot of different SKUs. We had a lot of different products that we were selling, which was a pain to manage. And that's when I realized that I didn't want to sell dance clothing the rest of my life. I wanted to create a product that I was passionate about. I wanted to create something that I really believed in, something I really liked. And that's a lot about what I talk about on this channel, is how to create a passion product. Other people talk about private labeling or wholesale, which I think are both very gimmicky ways to make money online. I think the real way to start a legitimate business, like how real businesses get started, is they create something for themselves, something they wish existed. I mean, Nike, Apple, like any major brand that you look at and say, wow, that's a really cool company, chances are the owner of the company wanted the product for themselves. So I ended up creating Performance Nut Butter. I did a Kickstarter, I raised about $15,000. I took that money, I also cashed out my 401k. I put everything I had into doing the first production run on my product. Now, usually doing production for an Amazon product shouldn't be, my product was really expensive. It cost me about $30,000 to do my initial production run, which is bananas crazy. Most products are gonna cost you around like $5,000 for a production run, but I took all that money, I did my production run, and I launched it on Amazon. And here's the crazy thing. Within 2 months of launching my product on Amazon, I was doing $30,000 a month in revenue, which was $10,000 profit, which if you do the math, is about $300 a day passive income. It took me 5 years to figure out this method, to figure out that I need to be selling on Amazon, that I shouldn't be trying to drive people to some random website, that I need to, not only do I need to be selling on Amazon, but I needed to create a passion product. And this is like the aha moment for me. And I want to talk about the fourth reason why right now is the perfect time to sell on Amazon. But as a quick side note, as I mentioned on this channel, I talk about how to create unique products, things that you're going to want to sell, things that you're passionate about, that you actually believe in. And let me tell you from experience, when you really believe in a product you're selling, it makes it so much easier. It makes it easier, first off, to create a great product because you're creating it for yourself. You already understand your customer because you are your customer. But also, when you're trying to like promote your product, trying to do marketing, it's fun. I don't work on my product all the time, but I will say when I'm actively working on my product and actually trying to increase sales, I really enjoy it because it's something I believe in. Now, the fourth reason why right now is the perfect time to sell on Amazon is you're never gonna be perfect. I think a lot of people fall into this trap of analysis paralysis. They wait until everything is perfect before they launch their product, which is the biggest mistake in the world. What you need to start thinking about is in terms of a MVP model, which means minimal viable product. So what you do is think about it as a version 1.0. Whatever you put out version 1.0. Know that it's not gonna be perfect, but you're gonna learn from the mistakes. In fact, I honestly didn't expect Performance Nut Butter to do as well as it did, but it did really well. And so now I'm doing a version 2.0. I'm coming out with a cacao version of my product, basically like a chocolate version of my product, because I realized a lot of people, they need some kind of a flavor. A lot of people want chocolate, they want sweets, they want things like that. So I'm doing a cacao version of my product. That's my 2.0. One of the biggest things I've learned in these last 7 years of entrepreneurship is we always expect ourselves to be perfect. We look at other people and expect that they have it all figured out, that they know everything, that they are perfect, they're the final version of themselves. And a lot of people look at me, and because I have a YouTube channel, a lot of people look at me and think, oh, well, he's got it all figured out, like it's all perfect. No, very, very far from that. I'll be completely honest. I'm terrified to launch my performance nut butter cacao. It actually makes it harder for me because if I make a mistake, it's on camera, everyone's gonna see on my YouTube channel. I make mistakes all the time, but the other thing, and the final reason why right now is the perfect time to start selling on Amazon, is the worst case scenarios are never as bad as you actually think they are. So this performance nut butter cacao, I am honestly, there's nights where I can't sleep because I'm so nervous about, I hope it's gonna go well. But when I actually write it out and I actually calculate and do the math, the worst case scenario is I get my money back. That's not that big of a deal. And I'm willing to bet the same thing is true with you. So the very worst case scenario with my product is people don't really like it. It ends up getting a bad review system. And you know what I'll do? I'll take my remaining product and I'll sell it at cost wholesale. I'll work my butt off. I'll find people to buy it. I'll lower the price on Amazon to like $14.99. And I guarantee at $14.99, it'll eventually sell out and I'll make my money back. And the same thing is true for you. If you try out Amazon, I guarantee you'll at least make your money back. And more importantly, along the way, you'll learn so freaking much. My first company, the dance clothing company, I would not call it a failure by any means. It was a failure in the sense of I never hit my goal. I never hit my $300 a day passive income goal. I made enough money from it basically to pay the bills and basically like just barely get by. And a lot of people would look at it and say, well, it's a failure. I'm like, no. From that, I learned I need to have a product that I'm passionate about. From that, I learned that I needed to have just one SKU. That's another big mistake. People are like, hey, I'm gonna have 20 different SKUs, meaning 20 different like variants of your product. Start with one. See if the one sells. Like figure out what's the one SKU that is most likely to sell and just focus on that. Also, I learned that I don't want to do manufacturing. My first company, the dance clothing company, we did all the manufacturing ourselves. We sewed everything, we cut everything, shipped everything. I wanted to outsource that. And the cool thing about Amazon is you can find someone to manufacture your product for you, ship it to Amazon. Amazon will then fulfill it to the customer. You can basically live anywhere you want. You can basically go on vacation. I'm not saying you're not gonna have to work, but you can work when you want, on what you want to, from wherever you want. This is the thing I wish I would have found out about a long time ago. And I did do a video where I talk about my first 2 years selling on Amazon, including every single mistake I made, including one mistake that probably cost me about $100,000. So check out that video and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.